Is this now your economy, sir? Do you bear responsibility for what is happening at the border, what the president himself has called a crisis? So is Trump mentally fit? You're saying he's not?
Not in that moment, he sure as heck wasn't.
Ruling it out 100%.
I wouldn't, it's not even an interesting conversation.
Do you still believe that Ukraine is an ally who the United States should support over Vladimir Putin? Will you vote for a bill to keep the government open if it includes those cuts? I'm Kristen Welker, and I'm moderator of Meet the Press. The purpose of the weekly politics talk show is to take a thorough and critical look back at the week that was, to make sure that we are bringing the viewer into our democracy and our democratic process. Our role as journalists is to make sure that we are holding elected officials to account. Our preparation is incredibly detailed. Part of our job is to read past interviews, not just from the past month, but going back years. Sometimes there are some really important accountability moments that come from that. We work on Meet the Press for a week because we are doing hours and hours worth of research. I am reading hundreds of pages every single week in order to prepare for these interviews. Meet the Press is the gold standard. It's the longest running television program, the longest running political show in U.S. history, and we have to meet that high bar every single Sunday.
Let's get started. I think we start off in a very different position than last week.
Hi, I'm David P. Gellis. I'm the executive producer of Meet the Press.
Quick thoughts. One, members of Congress.
I'm the showrunner. My job is to keep everyone on task. I create the editorial vision for the show in terms of what guests we'll book, and then really sort of the storylines that we're going to cover and the storylines that we won't.
The big headline of the week so far is America switched sides.
We know that the president has a big meeting coming up tomorrow with the president of Ukraine on a deal to try to negotiate peace. He's going to give a speech to Congress on Tuesday, his first joint address of his second term. And of course, the news could change. Does it make it to air on Sunday? You'll have to stay tuned to find out.
Meet the Press, America's press conference of the air, is a public affairs presentation of NBC News.
We try to think about everything in terms of big picture. What will people think about this moment in history 10 years from now, 10 weeks from now, 100 years from now?
There is no doubt about the fact that the hate is here. We didn't create it. We merely exposed it and brought it to the surface.
Part of our goal is to make sure that the rest of the country feels like they are a part of Washington when we are giving our broadcast. People are finishing up their weekend. They want to know, what do I need to know? The important and relevant information to our community and to our world heading into this new week.
This week we have the Speaker of the House, we have Senator Lankford, we have Senator Sanders. We actually aren't going to be able to ask everything. So what we do try to start is like just big picture, what are the things that we know matter for the week?
Looking just overall at the economy and the Republican agenda is a good way to think about Speaker Johnson.
That striking moment in the cabinet meeting when Trump just said, in other words, that he expects loyalty. I just think Lankford is going to be more straightforward and answer those questions.
Caitlin and Emily will be working on Speaker Johnson today. Abby pushes forward on Lankford.
Do you want to do anything on the future of the Department of Education with Bernie Sanders, whether there is one?
If we have time, I would like to do that. That's not a bad idea.
Kristen, you just mentioned you wanted to fact check the RFK on the measles. Did you want to do that with Johnson or Lankford?
My name is Caitlin Hartman. I'm a producer on Meet the Press. As soon as we have a guest booked, we have our interns and our PAs and some of our staff start gathering all of the research on our guests.
We look back at everything they've said publicly, whether it's on the floor of the Senate or the House.
Every interview they've ever done, every tweet they've put out, basically anything that they've been saying publicly that could be relevant to our questions.
This is a very Tim Russert tactic to go back in time to find something that the politician you're interviewing has said maybe 5 years ago, to remind them of that, to see if they still stand by that. Evolution is a part of being a human being, and sometimes it elicits very interesting information about a politician and their political views.
So you will not run for president or vice president in 2008?
I will not.
You will not?
Well, that is how I was thinking at that time.
The process starts early with all of our team, and then our producers will take over and they'll actually work on the actual questions for the outline. What are the things that we want to be asking? How do we want to frame the questions?
And our goal, of course, is to try to get these folks off their talking points. At this point, it's really in the producer and researcher's hands.
We're not going to be able to ask everything. There's way too much going on. Write your questions, do the research. Between tomorrow and Saturday, we'll do our best to try to whittle it down.
There'll probably be 20 questions there. But by the time we get to Sunday, it's going to be down to 7 or 8 that actually make it on air.
Hi guys, Caitlin, do you want me to share yours?
Yeah, so I'm happy to jump in. Friday is the first day that we get together as a team and just talk through the entire document that the producers put together that has all of the questions for our guests and then the research that's attached to it. So like that's a fact that you could bring up if he tries to argue.
Who
Let me send it.
We painstakingly go through every single question, every single thought to make sure that we are not missing anything. What an outline of an interview might look like on Wednesday is very different than what it looks like on Sunday.
You're talking about $880 billion of cuts to Medicaid. That means that sick kids die.
We talk through, is this the right framing? Do we need more fact checks? Do we need a different pushback? So I guarantee he's just going to say, of course we're not going to cut Medicare and Medicaid. They've said that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson, which was the interview that I was working on, he's doing these budget reconciliation talks.
This looks great. We can do a 5 o'clock.
That's perfect, guys. That's great.
So now the rest of us are all going to go and start working on our outlines following the news of the day. Obviously, President Trump is meeting with President Zelensky, so we're going to be watching that live to make sure that if they reach a deal on this rare earth metals, that we can incorporate that into our questions.
This is an NBC News special report.
This meeting with President Trump and President Zelensky in the Oval Office turned tense. Here's what happened just moments ago. Let's watch.
With us, you start having
I'm not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
I'm
You're
serious,
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You
You're gambling with World War III.
It's currently Friday around 6:30. This is usually around the time when we would be wrapping up our production. We have like the outlines in a final state, and we're going to look at them again on Saturday, mock them.
I think the first question needs to be, Mr. Speaker.
The meeting between Trump and Zelensky, we had anticipated the big spat between them, changing the direction of all of our interviews, where we're now leading with Ukraine in all of the sections.
We just gotta keep moving because we got a deadline.
Yep. Okay. Sanders.
I knew going into this week that I would be producing a conversation with Bernie Sanders.
We'll have him talk about, Pentagon cuts and cuts more broadly, and then the actual shutdown.
Obviously, the breaking news forcing us to kind of push toward Ukraine and Russia.
You saw tensions were up between President Trump and President Zelensky on Friday, and moments ago you saw Speaker Johnson.
Moments ago, just say Speaker Johnson defended President Trump.
We're in a good place for Friday. The challenge is that we're going to produce our show on Sunday, and so many more things can happen on Saturday, so we'll just be continually reacting to whatever comes up.
All right, guys. Thank you.
We're in really good shape.
We're in great shape, guys.
It's Saturday, it's noon. We just spent the last 2 hours going through, are these questions basically bulletproof? I want to make sure that the questions don't have a little Swiss cheese in them. What I mean is I don't want those holes where the guests could take them in any different direction. I want sharp, focused questions. We're gonna now break apart, regroup, we'll come back and do mock interviews.
I'm just drilling down our questions and shortening our research. Right now it's about 82 pages. That's down from over 100 pages that we've collected over the course of this week.
On the eve of every show, we do mock interviews.
Kristen, because she's actually moderated presidential debates, has found that the mocking process actually helps to figure out whether a question lands or doesn't. We've gone through all the questions. We have done mock interviews with all the segments. We've looked at every graphic, every video element. We feel like we've checked everything off the list. We're gonna go home, monitor the news, hope that not too much happens, knock on wood, and we come back in tomorrow morning and we get ready to do the show.
It's 5 a.m. I'm printing the latest outlines right now, and then I'm going to go bring them into hair and makeup, and then Kristen, David, and I are going to review them together and then make any changes before Kristen goes to set.
Let's take it from the top and see if it all flows.
Yeah. Good.
Explosive, or you want to say heated?
Heated. You can say heated.
Heated.
Heated in a heated confrontation.
In a heated confrontation.
Camera 2 is up. Camera 3.
So much work goes into every single question, every single interview.
There's Vance Oval Office, then there's this one.
advance to empty podium.
Just minor changes to the A2, nothing major.
Before we do the show, we do a whole nother round of mock interviews.
Animate this all see.
Wait, do they have her audio?
No, we don't have it yet.
I have a list of questions, and then beneath the question, I have a series of supporting evidence and information. I have supporting facts.
Big show. Big show.
Our viewers should come away from every broadcast and feel as though they learned something new, and it was a real value add to spend that hour with us.
2, 1, music.
This Sunday, Breaking Point.
You don't have the cards right now.
Plus, spending showdown. Republicans are promising nearly $1 trillion in spending cuts. My guest this morning, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, and Republican Senator James Lankford. Welcome to Sunday. It's Meet the Press. And joining me now is the Speaker of the House, Republican Congressman Mike Johnson of Louisiana.
Hey, Kristen, great to be with you as always.
We really think about these interviews in terms of accountability, which is we get them on the record.
Is President Trump realigning the United States with Russia here?
No, President Trump is trying to get these two parties to a point of peace.
It's almost like a deposition in a way of saying, okay, this is what you said to us on this point in time.
Will you commit to voting for the bill as it stands?
Well, no one has actually seen the bill as it stands.
That's a moment of accountability in our democracy.
Do you think that President Zelensky needs to resign in order for there to be a peace deal?
I think that is a horrific suggestion.
And then we can test that out weeks, months, years from now.
That is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week because if it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Thanks, everyone.
Good show.
I feel really good about today's show. I think there were a lot of headlines, and I think each interview was revealing in its own way. And what we learned is that there is still a big divide over how these lawmakers view the potential path to peace for Ukraine and Russia. What fuels Meet the Press is the teamwork. It's important that we have really good discussions, but that we are constantly staying on track with time. And it is a very challenging dance, and I think that's what makes these shows effective.
Our process is so collaborative.
This allows for a more thoughtful conversation.
We do try to take a step back and think, how will this matter in history?
What are the news a day questions, but also what are we going to want to be asking about and playing back to our viewers in 20, 50 years from now?
All of that takes time, all of that takes effort, all of that is a teamwork, and it requires an immense amount of work on the part of each and every person who works at Meet the Press.